University or flight school? Now that is a question that troubles so many young people, and if I look through my DMs, I'll probably see about 80% of the DMs targeting this exact question. What is the best? Where's the best investment and opportunity cost? In this video, I'm going to be breaking it down for you and explaining, if you are in that position, what the best course of action probably would be for you if your aspirations are to become a pilot. Now I'll delve into what I did in a little while in terms of what I chose as a career path, but let's get to the bottom of what might stop you from doing it in the first place. The number one thing that I get asked is, am I too young to start? And these are questions being asked by 18 and 19-year-olds, roughly entering their 20s. And I will tell you in the most simplest form I can possibly say it, that if you are in that age bracket, that isn't too young to start. That is the perfect time to start your training and get into the field. It's easy for me to say that because I'm in a position where I'm now flying for an airline and I'm in my mid-20s and I've gone through it all. And you're at a point right now where you're looking ahead and it's all a mountain of exams and costs and loads of hurdles that you're going to have to jump over, and it looks daunting. And I'll tell you for a full fact that I was in the same position as you guys and I felt the exact same way. But I can guarantee you that it's not as hard as it seems. Alaikum. Ma salama. Sabah al khair. I was just saying goodbye to the villa cleaners. I'm currently in Marrakesh at the moment. If you can't already tell behind me, I'm sat in the pool area, kind of just chilling. But anyway, back to it. People often say to me, oh, do I have the grades to get in? Will I fulfill all the requirements that the flight school need from me? Now, generally, if you finish higher education in the UK and Europe, you're going to be absolutely fine. So the first thing that I would say to anybody that is young and aspiring to be a pilot, you need to finish your higher education first and foremost. That will give you a foundation to develop the skills required to acquire knowledge, and not only knowledge but other skills and competencies that a pilot might need when they're actually working day to day. Now it seems daunting. It's 14 ATPL exams all on different subjects with so much level of detail, and pilots are like mathematical and scientific geniuses that have been gifted onto this earth for the sole purpose of flying an aeroplane, and that's not the case. There's so many pilots I've flown through from different backgrounds. Some are not as mathematical as others. Some are not as sciencey and physicsy as others. Like myself, I wouldn't say I'm a massive physics geek, but I have strengths in other areas, like my maths and my English. So there's so many areas as a pilot which you can be good at that people don't understand, and there's a misconception that you just need to be good at certain things. The more you learn about it, the more you'll understand that there is so much more to being a pilot than just academic smarts. Another thing that I often get asked is, oh, am I gonna have to leave my family for a period of time? Now, let me ask you guys a question. When you go out to university, especially if you're going elsewhere from your city, you're gonna often be spending long periods of time away from them anyway. You're going to be spending months upon end away from your family, coming back for maybe a week. But let's compare it to what pilot training might seem like. You're gonna be spending about 6 months to 8 months doing your ground school and theory exams wherever the flight academy locate you. Now, the flight academy you choose is entirely up to you and your preference and where you are in the world. So if you are somewhere, let's say up north, you can find a flight school around these areas that will definitely facilitate a possibility where you could commute back and forth from home. Now, if you want to go into one of the best flight schools, then yes, you may have to commute. That is a small sacrifice and a small cost to pay for a massive reward in the long term. Me, for example, I went to an academy in Oxford and I was able to commute, which was nice. But then after the theory exams, I was sent to Arizona. And I'm very much a homeboy. I like to be around my family and I like to be around my friends. And being sent all the way to Arizona was quite a difficult challenge for me. But I knew it was only a small price to pay. I was there for about 6 months altogether, and for me, the decision to go out there for those 6 months, I would not replace for any other decision I made in my entire life, because it has propelled me, that 6 months has propelled me years ahead of people in the same age bracket as myself. Yes, it was a grind. Yes, it was tough to be away from my family. Was it worth it? 1,000,000%. Now let's talk about the cost of it all. Now, if I was to break this down to you, the psychology of it is so interesting, because when you speak to people that are going into a uni degree, they're asking themselves, I need a backup plan. I need a safe option in case, all else fails. Now let me ask you a question. If you finish your university degree, let's say you're doing IT, do you have a guarantee of a job? Do you have a guarantee that all of that investment is going to be worth it in the end? A lot of people think because you're taking it out of a student loan from the government, it's free, essentially, up until a certain age and whatnot. Now, yes, to some degree, you're right. It is free. But let's just think about the opportunity cost here. I'm going to break this down for you. And to be honest, I never even thought about it until I started making this video. And then I actually ran the numbers and it surprised me massively. Let's say you do a 3-year degree. And I'm going to say the same for a pilot. You do a 3-year training course. And now this is really unlikely. Most training courses are less than 3 years. But let's say you do a 3-year uni degree and a 3-year training course to give you the same starting point. Now we're going to say we started both of these at 18 and we finished both of these at 21. So you're 21 years old, you finish your uni degree, and let's say you've gotten a job in the next month. So you've basically just started a job at a new company. So for 20-year-olds, the average starting salary is about 22k, and it goes up to about 30k when you're about 29 years old. So I'm going to say, and this is for the sake of argument, that you start on the highest bracket of pay grade. I'm going to say you start on 30k as soon as you finish university. Now let's say you're a trainee pilot and you start at an airline at the same time, just to give it the same buffer. And if you think about it, like I said, flight schools usually only take 2 years, so I'm even giving you a year buffer really to find a job. But for the theoretical side of it, let's say 3 years, both places have led you to a job. The starting salary for a pilot, anywhere between 60k and 65k, roughly is a rough average. So let's say 60k, we'll go to the bottom end of it. Now let me outline how a career tends to go for a pilot. So you'll spend the first 2 years or so as a second officer. Now that's just a pay grade. You're under the Civil Aviation Authority, you're a first officer, but it's just a pay grade for airlines to taper you up. So you start as a second officer on about 60k. From there, you spend 2 years on 60k, and then you transition to a first officer once you've got the experience. First officer salaries tend to go to about 75k. So let's say you now take a nice increase of money up to 75k, and you're roughly on that for another 2 years. So after those 2 years have elapsed, you've then got the experience required to become a senior first officer, which is another increase in your pay bracket. Usually the average is about 85k, and it can be even more in some airlines. Now you've gotten to that 85k point, and you'd probably stay there for another 2 years until you can become a captain. Now, a captain salary is where you will make the real money, but I'm going to halt it at the first year of a captain. So that's 7 years in total. And a captain's average salary in the UK is about 130k. Now that's taken us 7 years to get to this point. We were 21 and now we are 28. Now let's say we go back to the university degree and you decided to pursue a university degree instead. You finish your university degree, you're earning 30k for those 7 years. Now let's add it all up. 30 times 7 is £210,000 is your net worth after those 7 years. Now as a pilot, I've broken it down for you, but your net worth is going to be 420k. You've just 2x'd your money. And that was just by the simple decision of not going to university, but investing into a pilot training course. Now, I know that the upfront cost for a pilot is a lot. So let's say it's 100k, and for a uni degree it's 30k. So let's take off 30k from 210k and 100k from 420k. What are we left with? Again, it's almost a no-brainer. Look at the difference in terms of your net worth. For me, it's almost a matter of risk and reward. So many people in today's society are very scared of taking that risk and taking that leap of faith that could propel them years and years ahead. We're in our 20s. If we're going to make mistakes, it's going to be in our 20s. How many people do I know that have chopped and changed their degrees and decided, oh, I don't want to pursue this anymore, and dropped out because they don't enjoy it? I'm doing something that I love every day. I'm traveling the world. I'm earning one of the top 5% of salaries in the UK for my age bracket. And that's all because I made that decision not to pursue a uni degree, but to pursue something that I was really passionate in, and I was happy to take the risk. The risk and reward ratio for you is something that you personally need to decide for yourself. Now, going back to what my pathway was, if I haven't already outlined it to you, I decided myself when I finished school, I'm going to start straight into a flight school. Over the years, I had to accumulate so much knowledge. I had to try and find out as much as I could about how it works and what is the best material so that I can get the best grades and then I can get the best prospects of getting a job. But through accumulating all of that knowledge, I'm now in a position where I can give it back to you guys and help you and make you realize that you don't have to go through the standard route of getting a degree and trying to play it safe. You can just go straight into what you really are passionate about and not waste all of your money and precious time getting a degree and then trying after the degree to pay off your student loan, then get another loan for the training, because eventually if you are aspiring to be a pilot, you're going to have to fork out that money, and that's the hard part. But you have to figure out a way of doing that at this stage if you do want it, because hoping that by the time you finish your degree it's going to appear out of nowhere when you're working for 30k a year, it's going to be very, very difficult and tight for you. Is the opportunity cost better in just investing in yourself from the start? For me, it's a no-brainer. Now, if you're interested and if what I've said has inspired you to become a pilot now, please, please, please go into the description, tap on my link for my Instagram and just shoot me a message. I'm going to be more than happy to respond to you. And then we can start and build a pathway where you can also be in a similar position to me, where you're earning the top 5% in the UK in terms of salaries and you're living your dream job, traveling the world and enjoying life. If you could just do me a massive favor, just like this video so that it can reach as many people as possible. Subscribe to my channel so that you can hear more information and get more of an insight as to what life is like as a pilot. And then, like I said, if you are interested, just DM me on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. I hope this has helped you and I hope this has inspired some of you. Take care and I'll see you soon.